From the deafening silence of the small crowd in attendance to what some described as visible discomfort among veterans and service members, critics are calling Donald Trump's military birthday parade a wasteful display, a moment that, for them, underscored the division and spectacle overtaking national tradition.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Looking good, boys! Howdy, howdy, howdy! Yeah!
Even MAGA loyalists and frequent Trump supporter Jack Posobiec appeared unusually subdued, a reaction that's fueling speculation online that not even his base is convinced this was a success. Meanwhile, over on Fox News, host Lawrence Jones painted the event in strikingly different terms, describing it as a moment of grandeur and unity.
There is no doubt in my mind that this will go down in history as the moment that lit a match in this country. The feeling in this crowd is the text messages that I'm receiving from all my loved ones from all across the country, friends saying that they want to serve, that they love their country. You saw the many faces of the people that were singing that serve in our country, all different shades, hair textures, everything, because there is one thing that unites us all, and that is that flag. It's the red, white, and blue. I'm just excited. I'm excited for what's to come for our country. You're going to see it in the recruitment numbers go up tenfold. You can bank on it.
Jones made that sweeping assertion while the celebration was winding down, then followed it up the next morning with even more praise. And for many viewers, that stark contrast raised questions about how this event is being framed by different media outlets.
It was just a parade of love, of people that just love our country. And for all the people that said this was about his birthday, it was not. It may have been one or two moments where you had some of our service members sing happy birthday, but other than that, it was celebrating the Army, but celebrating the country.
And Donald Trump, he doesn't care about celebrating his birthday. This was about the Army, and the Army was the one who came up with this idea. Let's have a big parade for our birthday. It just so happened to fall on President Trump's.
Fox's coverage has some critics comparing it to state-sponsored media, pointing to the enthusiastic tone and celebratory framing as efforts to project strength and significance around the parade. Supporters saw it as patriotic. Detractors said it was more about salvaging political optics than honoring the military. And for many, Lawrence Jones's elevated language about Trump's leadership struck a nerve.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Lockheed Martin. Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase. Special thanks to our sponsor, UFC. Special thanks to our sponsor, Form Energy. Special thanks to our sponsor, Oracle. Special thanks to our sponsor, Palantir.
You know, another source of attention? The sponsor list. A number of major corporations appeared to back the event, including Lockheed Martin, Coinbase, Oracle, UFC, Form Energy, and Palantir. Observers noting that many of these companies have either direct or indirect ties to Donald Trump or his inner circle. For example, Lockheed is one of the government's top defense contractors. Coinbase recently had an SEC lawsuit drop and hosts Trump's meme coin. UFC and Form are owned by longtime Trump ally Dana White. Oracle, founded by Larry Ellison, a vocal Trump supporter, and Palantir, co-founded by Peter Thiel and Alex Karp, has secured multiple government surveillance contracts. Some critics arguing that this kind of corporate alignment with political figures, especially in moments like this, raises questions about influence, access, and the future of public-private power. Now, just in case this is your first time hearing about Palantir and its broader ambitions, meet their current CEO and co-founder, Alex Karp, a close ally to fellow Palantir co-founder, Peter Thiel.
Of course, I've been calling out the thin, corrosive, cancerous ideology that regresses below Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, and any form of Western thought that is now a pagan religion infecting our universities, because it's dangerous to America. It is dangerous to allow discrimination on our college campuses simply because the people are being discriminated against are viewed as successful.
We kind of just think these things that are happening across college campuses especially are like a sideshow. No, they are the show. Because if we lose the intellectual debate, you will not be able to deploy any army in the West ever.
We cannot have parity. Our adversaries do not have our moral compunction. If it's even, they will take advantage of our niceness, kindness, our desire to be at home in Nebraska or New Hampshire or wherever we live in our peaceful environments. And they need to wake up scared and go to bed scared.
Now, here's what you really need to know about Palantir.
Seems as if this is a process to mix data from government agencies that immigrants often report to, so IRS and tax data, all these kinds of things that can track their most recent addresses and things like that. The Palantir process with its software foundry basically becomes the window for all of this data and allows folks at DHS and maybe even at other agencies, we're not quite sure yet, to submit queries and to find information and link it together about folks all across the country. So we're seeing Palantir being brought not just in the military industry, but also the public industry across a bunch of different agencies, as well as just different companies and businesses as well. They're starting to change not just from defense spending, right, but into becoming an operation system for the entire government.
Palantir began as a Silicon Valley startup with deep intelligence ties. Over time, it's become one of the most influential and controversial tech contractors for the United States government. The company has built data systems for immigration enforcement, predictive policing, and military AI projects. Most recently, it secured major deals through programs like Project Maven, embedding AI into defense workflows. While supporters say this enhances security, critics warn such technology, if unchecked, could pose serious civil liberties concerns, especially if future administrations choose to deploy it more aggressively. As conversations around surveillance, data, and government power evolve, companies like Palantir are expected to remain front and center.